Okay, if you haven't seen her, you're going to see her right now. It is Pearl. Yeah, there you go. There she is, a woman that is lighting up the internet. Today we are going to be talking about where are the real men.
This is Pearl and Sarah Garvey on the JustPearlyThings network, a UK-based YouTube channel that makes manosphere and red pill content. The channel got to 1 million subscribers within a year, which is about as viral as you could hope for. But now, Pearl has issued 6 bad faith copyright strikes against Sarah Garvey, her old co-host, and is threatening litigation as well. So, how did we get here?
It ain't the money. It's not the flash. It's not the gravitas. It's not this. It's the things that it took for you to make yourself something. You were not born high value. You make yourself high value. You make yourself the man.
This is Kevin Samuels. He was one of the most influential and iconic figures in the manosphere, if not the most influential. Unfortunately, he passed away on May 5th of last year. After his passing, there was still a large demand for the kind of content that Kevin Samuels was making.
The tragic death of Kevin Samuels happened, and there was a vacuum within the manosphere space. Who was it going to be filled by? It was actually filled by JustPearlyThings along with other content creators.
One of the most notable channels to fill this void was JustPearlyThings. Not only did her audience grow incredibly fast, but her network did too, hiring producers, editors, and signing on other creators, upgrading the studio a number of times along the way. And while she had been involved with some minor controversy, like getting banned off TikTok, she has largely avoided major backlash from her audience. That is, until recently.
And what happened with that? Why did you stop?
Well, I got fired / quit because I went to the Charlottesville rally. You know Charlottesville?
You went to the Charlottesville rally?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, I mean, look.
Wait. Who did I bring on?
Oh. This is Nick Fuentes. If you know who he is, you've probably already made your mind up about him. But for those who don't know, he's an openly extremist right-wing political figure. Now, I have to make this clear. I am okay with anybody platforming anybody. I'll be the first to say it. Some of the best content to come out in the last year or so was the Destiny Fuentes stuff.
What's your favorite Kanye album? Graduation, is that the one with Stronger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
one.
Fake
that
fan.
One.
Fake fan. Is that the one with Stronger?
And then my beautiful dark twisted.
This works because Nick and Destiny have a great push and pull dynamic. On JustPearlyThings, however, it's basically just a 3-hour Nick Fuentes infomercial. Pearl not knowing that he was at the Charlottesville rally speaks to how unprepared she was. This unprepared platforming led to a rift in Pearl's audience, which led to Pearl issuing an apology about a month later.
I want to first say I take full accountability for everything that happened. Everything that happens in life, as I say to the girls on my show, is my own fault. So the first thing is, why did you have Nick on? I was more just curious why this man was banned on everything.
This is a point of contention in the community. Was Pearl really this unprepared, or was she just playing dumb for the sake of PR? I really do think she just wasn't fully aware, but that doesn't really improve her case. Having on a highly controversial figure to explain why they were banned from everything without doing your homework is incredibly unprofessional and irresponsible. For all she knew, she could have been platforming somebody way worse. Oh, well, who's worse than Nick Fuentes? It can always be worse. It could have been a Weinstein type, and it can get even worse than that, so use your imagination. So no, I don't think Pearl is a bigot. I just think she's unprofessional, something we'll see more of moving forward. I want to move on from the apology for now, but I will say the apology only seemed to further divide her audience. The people who are already upset are probably not going to be convinced. The people who weren't upset now have a reason to be. This divide was now felt by the people Pearl worked with.
And so after that interview, Pearl decided to make an apology video, which was, in my personal point of view, disingenuous and a PR stunt. And all in all, it came from a place of deception.
This was a video posted by Sarah Garvey 4 days after Pearl's apology. One of the arguments he makes is that Pearl has a colonial-type mindset.
So I began working with Pearl, and from the beginning, I started to think that maybe this girl has a colonial mindset. Now, we all know that we don't want to be paranoid, so I kept working with her. However, the more I worked with her is the more that I saw. She had a colonial type viewpoint when it came to black people.
I don't agree with this argument, but I think it's understandable why people would think this.
Would you admit, like, the content you cover with black folk, you kind of slum it a bit, hanging out with the blacks because it's an easy grift? Yes or no? Would you ever say that? Would you agree to that? Would you believe that someone could see that?
No, I don't agree with that.
What I do agree with is that somebody could easily see Pearl as a grifter. When your crew looks like this, your audience came from this, and then you platform this, yeah, some of your audience is going to start having second thoughts. Another thing Sarah Garvey talked about were contracts.
70% goes to me, Pearl, and 30% goes to me, Sarah Garvey. And that's when I started scratching my head. And I said, hang on a minute. So are you telling me that's a high-end contract for you? She said, yes. And I said, so are you saying that JustPearlyThings Network has other people on low-end contracts? She said, yes. I said, King Riches and Auntie Jenny? She said, yes. I said, what's the low end? She said, it's 10 to 15%. I said, Pearl, how long are these contracts for? She said, 3 years. So I said, let me get this straight. You want to own me for 3 years to take 70% of my ad revenue, keep me in your studio from 10 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening for 4 to 5 days a week, and you are not guaranteeing me any money.
Now, the accuracy of this statement is what the lawsuit is about, so take this with a grain of salt. If you're familiar with ad revenue rates, 10 to 15% is hardly anything. What's worse, though, is the prospect of a 3-year contract. If Pearl is really signing people for 3 years at a time, then she doesn't know how quickly YouTube trends can fade. Just because your first year was successful doesn't mean you're in the clear for the next 3 years. That being said, I think Sarah Garvey could have confronted these issues in a more professional, less public manner. Perhaps him and Pearl have tried to reconcile things behind the scenes, but I don't know, the way this drama broke, it doesn't seem like they tried much. And while it's understandable that tensions would be high, the way this has all been handled is not a good look for anybody associated with JustPearlyThings. Which brings us to the two people who have signed contracts, Auntie Jenny and King Riches.
So when you're talking about Auntie Jenny, talk about what you know. Talk about what you've seen. Don't talk about what you don't know. Is that a lie? Is that a lie? Because all of a sudden you turned up and you're looking really like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, one of these, yeah, strong black men, you know what I mean? Is that a lie? Is that a lie? Is that a lie? He pushed back. Is that a lie though? You're wearing your black today and you're wearing your little gold pendant. Your little tiny gold pendant. Your little tiny gold pendant. I need a magnifying glass to go and see. But you're talking in your bedroom. You're talking in your bedroom. You're talking in your bedroom. I always thought that you were a man that followed Kevin Samuels. God rest his soul. Right, Kevin Samuels. And the way you're turning up. Tell them how you turn up. Look how you're dressed now to suit the black man. How do you normally turn up in your Primark shoes? Grown man sitting. You're a grown man. You're a grown man sitting. You're a grown man. You're a grown man sitting. Tell them how you turn up. Tell them how you turn up. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. Better than you. You walked out the door and then you come back. Oh, because you forgot your bottle. Serious thing. So you can scream all you want, bro. You can scream all you want because I've probably done more and banged more chicks in your country than you ever have. So much of a man, you forgot your bottle. So how do you feel about that?
These clips are from shortly after Sarah Garvey uploaded his video on Pearl. I will say this kind of behavior is certainly entertaining, but if your network is currently experiencing the greatest amount of controversy it ever has, then this probably isn't the greatest approach. Once again, I realize tensions are high, but that doesn't change the fact that this isn't a good look. One thing of note is, while Auntie Jenny brings up the contract she has with Pearl, she doesn't seem to dispute any of the contract details that Sarah Garvey was talking about.
Now please, don't put me in your mouth. Do not say things about me that you do not know. You understand? I am retired. I have bought my own house. You know what I mean? I don't owe nobody nothing. I don't do this because I need the money. I do it because I ain't got nothing better to do, because I'm retired.
If this is how she wants to spend her spare time, then I can respect that. But if the contracts really are for 3 years, then that's just bad YouTube business. At this rate, JustPearlyThings is going to be the machinima of Red Pill. But Pearl says the way Sarah Garvey describes her business is defamatory and false. After Sarah uploaded his video, Pearl issued 6 copyright strikes. She then tells Insider, "We do not take defamation lightly, and we will be pursuing this to the fullest extent of the law." I don't know about UK law, but in the US, making a case for defamation, especially when you're a public figure, is really difficult. It would be especially hard in this case to prove because the defamation regards a private conversation. Even if Pearl can prove that Sarah Garvey misrepresented these contracts in his video, the details of the conversation about the contracts is just a he said, she said. What really baffles me about this Insider article is how Pearl said Sarah Garvey has had an agenda against her for months. If that's the case, that reflects really poorly on Pearl's ability to communicate, which is the main part of her job. Which brings us back to unprofessionalism. Some people give Pearl props for being a smart businesswoman, but I just don't see it.
I just feel like studies will tell you water isn't wet.
I don't know why you keep saying that. It's like something that somebody's never read a study before says, like, well, a study will tell you anything. No, it won't. Studies by reputable sources published in reputable journals that have repeatable results don't just say anything. That's not true. If that was true, how would we make any progress scientifically at all in anything ever? Do you think that medicine has gotten better largely as like time has gone on? Do you think that like cars have gotten better largely as time has gone on? Okay, if all of society is improving and all of it's on the back of research and studies, then it's probably the case that studies don't just say anything. They're probably pointing in like some direction. Now, a study can be wrong, right? This has happened. The Lancet is a very prestigious journal, and that's where the original vaccines have autism study was published, right? So yeah, I mean, like,
I'm not gonna say I'm an expert in studies, okay?
Sure.
I'm not that smart. All right, I'll just but I just feel like sometimes like super smart people will read all these studies. And it's like, they'll be saying things that like common sense, like I don't need a study to read.
I mean, think of the way she handled this drama. She first had on a highly controversial figure without looking into him at all, and with no real plan or direction for the content involving him. Then, about a month later, she completely walks it back and deletes the interview. Then, when she gets backlash from an old co-worker, she issues 6 copyright strikes and threatens litigation, just to wind up saying on her Twitter that yes, she will re-upload the Nick Fuentes interview. She doesn't come across as a smart businesswoman. She comes across as spineless, incompetent, and incapable of communication. I don't think Pearl's a bigot, but there is no part of this that makes me want to listen to Pearl's dating advice. I don't know, maybe this was all about getting back at Destiny or something. Alright, that's gonna have to do it for this one. Shout out to the best subscriber squad in all of YouTube. I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Loser! You would never in your life say that to me. You wouldn't, bro. You wouldn't. You're an old man, bro. You're an old man in your bedroom screaming at someone younger than you and fitter than you and probably got a bigger willy than you.